Welcome to Fallout Boys, the officially unofficial podcast for Fallout on Amazon Prime. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And today we're talking Season 2, Episode 4, The Demon in the Snow, which is a horned beast, apparently. Or the communists, I don't know. One of the two.
Oh, I thought it was a reference to Scarface.
The Demon in the Blow, yeah. The Demon in Lucy. God.
Yeah, true. The buff out. What's the biggest demon? Lucy on buff out or the literal demon looking thing? Okay. So I've heard a lot about. I've heard stories of this Deathclaw thing. I've heard it's a big badass in a wasteland, just from cultural video gaming osmosis. And I thought it was similar to the other beasts we've seen: the rad bears, the rad roaches, the rad scorpions. That this is some kind of fucking, I don't know, iguana or gecko or the skink that's gotten irradiated and gotten out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But the cold open, and you can't get much colder than the Arctic Circle. The cold open exposes this Deathclaw as something that was fully formed before the bombs dropped.
Yeah,
it can't be a rad beast.
Shocking to me. I had no idea that there was anything not radiation created going on in this world.
And there's a lot of implications there about who it attacked, who it didn't attack, about where it might have been wound up and released from. That's super. There's a lot more crazy shit going on before the war than just the Vault Tech and the Robco and other stuff that we know of, which is great. Like I didn't know that was a possibility. Obviously, it can be a possibility. I hope we explore more of it. What do you think of this episode other than the demon itself?
I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Between Thaddeus donning Xander's power armor and Lucy being on drugs, I was laughing through most of this episode.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, it was really good. And it says, or potentially hints at least, some very interesting things about Lucy as well. Getting someone on inhibition reducing hallucinogenics, I don't know what she's experiencing here, barbiturates, who knows, can have a revealing effect about what they might actually feel or think. I'm not saying that Lucy is some kind of crazed killer underneath that shiny exterior that she wants to hold up, but it does change her significantly, and I feel like we could talk about that for a while. That was really interesting.
Yeah, the old Caesar's Legion would say, in vino veritas, like in wine truth. Does cocaine reveal the asshole within, or does cocaine turn a normal person into an asshole?
I don't know.
People have debated it for a long time. Interesting. I wasn't even thinking about like, oh, this reveals something underlying Lucy that she was capable of the whole time. I'm like, oh, this is her under influence of drugs, and yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, interesting. I looked up buff because I don't know buff out from nothing. I know buff out from a Deathclaw. Turns out it's a common drug in Fallout that increases your speed, strength, and endurance at the cost of being highly addictive.
Nice. What does that mean in game terms?
I imagine you go faster and your punches are stronger and you probably take less damage for a while.
The addiction part of it. What does addiction mean in game? Your health ticks down
question.
As you don't
if
you don't re-up it.
Is it skoma? Is that the drug that's in Skyrim? Mm-hmm. Skooma, where like it kind of fucks you up. What's the effect of getting addicted to skooma? Can you get addicted to skooma?
I could go downstairs and ask my wife. She's playing it literally right now, but
my cat person
2 flights of stairs.
Occasionally did skooma, but I can't. I don't remember like having to sell the clothes off my back and suck barbarian dick behind the outfitter in Whitehall as a result of my rampant addiction to it. So I'm guessing I must have stayed on the good side of the skooma. But this buff out, I don't know what it maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If you know, write in fallout@baldmove.com. I was going to, it's like, I could start fantasizing about what it could affect. It'd be cool if you had a game where addiction is one of those things where it's like it gives you buffs, but as you continue to take it, then when you don't take it, you're debuffed. Like your standing statistics are like slower.
Oh, what's that
You
game?
don't
There's one that
heal.
does that with cigarettes. Like
I'm sure.
they charge you up, but
PUBG.
they also reduce your health. Yeah. No, not
Duke
PUBG.
Nukem. Half-Life 2,
That's like
Chapter 3.
I thought it was that Max Payne clone, but I don't know. People probably know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, Max Payne had a lot of drug effects, alcohol effects.
Oh yeah. What do you think of the episode?
I thought it's great. Yeah, it's like, I watched a lot of grim shit over my Christmas break. Not all was, I did a lot of Christmas stuff too, but I watched a lot of Pit, and it's, it's sometimes funny, but it's always like gripping and gritty, and you're sweaty and you're crying and you're raging at the end. And this Fallout is not like that. It's a show that reminds me constantly not to take it too seriously. Like when Lucy headshot someone with a perfect 80s action hero pose, not staring down the sights, not nothing, and she hits like a 50, 60-foot shot. That it's cool because it's a fucking video game, right? Mm-hmm. But it does, because this whole episode is essentially a farce. Like what Maximus and Thaddeus are doing at the base is a Monty Python skit. What Norm is doing to the junior executives is a Saturday Night Live skit. What is happening with Lucy and the Ghoul and the drugs and all that is a fucking, National Lampoon's movie. There's not a single goddamn thing to be taken serious except for Maximus getting Maximus isn't the biggest asshole in the Brotherhood, so he gets the artifact. Mm-hmm. And him and Thaddeus are going to survive with one suit, and that's everything that happens in this episode is just entertainment. But at the end, it's like you got to deal with the Death Claw, you got to deal with the Civil War of the Brotherhood, and then what's the other one? Oh, and also Norm might have to put down a rebellion pretty soon.
Yeah, he did a good job of like papering over his lack of knowledge, but yeah, if he has a couple missteps there, for sure.
I got some thoughts on maybe the makeup of these executives, but yeah, he's got a strapping junior executive that was Bud's personal assistant. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing, but he was in enough. He filled up enough coffees and fetched enough snacks and filled more water pitchers and meeting rooms enough to know that there's a stage 2 of the plan. Mm-hmm. Where he could be full of shit. I got a lot to say about that scene, but yeah, it's a really fun, colorful transition episode that kind of gets everybody where they need to go, probably for the mid to late game of the show. And anytime you can do that in an entertaining way, chef's kiss.
For sure.
Are you ready for me to transition into the main podcast, Jim?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about episode 204, Demon in the Snow. In the cold open, we flash back to Cooper in the Battle of Alaska with his best bud, Charlie Whiteknife, trying to hook up with some allied forces to kick out the invading communists from this Alaskan island. Their equipment is shit. Their morale's not much better. But then they receive some unexpected heavy reinforcement. Your thoughts, Jim?
I was crashing out, as the kids say, when I saw this monster. I'm like, okay, how do I rationalize this? Like, did some of the bombs drop already? Was there some nuclear action up in Alaska that hadn't kicked off full-scale war?
You can't tell me the number of bombs dropped in Alaska during this war was 0.
Right?
No fucking shot.
So maybe this thing mutated based on that rate. I was coming up with all kinds of implausible explanations, but to know that there were monsters out there, it just opens me up, I guess, to a lot more possibilities.
So these guys are, I don't know, it seems like a massively inefficient way to wage war. We're sending teams of 4 and 5 power suit guys to kill 3 Chinese teenagers, but whatever. War's hell. What did you make of the fact that the Death Claw approached Cooper, clearly realized it's alive, sniffed him, and then veered off in favor of violence elsewhere? Because, like, this isn't... Okay, can we rule out the fact this is, like, some kind of fucking mythical monster? This isn't, like, the Wendigo. This isn't, like, a Yeti or a Bigfoot. This isn't an alien. We know from the Gulpers that genetic engineering of this scale has happened before. What conclusion are you drawing?
I mean, the only conclusion I can draw is that either there was a partial bombing that mutated this, or this is potentially... Or there's something about Cooper as an individual that makes him some sort of kin to this monster.
Ooh.
So... Yeah, that's the only place my head goes.
So I'm wondering, like, because I can't prove this, but it refusing to attack American soldiers in favor of Chinese, because they do a little bit of ambiguity, because, like, the creature's regarding him for a long while and, like, in a menacing way, but then it hears active combat and goes in that direction. So it's like, you could say that he was going to kill Cooper, but then the sound of bloodshed and violence drew him to bigger prey.
Maybe.
But I felt like they were telling a story of a... You know, it's like if you're watching a movie about, you know, and you saw, like, underwater soldiers. You know, you had Navy SEALs versus, what the fuck are the Russians? Spetsnaz. Underwater special forces. And they're doing a 6v6 standoff. And all of a sudden, Flipper with, like, a box strapped to his head comes out, and he just kills all the Russians and then leaves the Americans without any other context. I would guess, that's some kind of DARPA project that they've weaponized dolphins.
Okay, weaponized Flipper.
I feel like this is like the United States, like, well, what if our mechanized troops don't work out? Look at these things sparking from the elbows and knees. Or the other thing that made more sense would be, this is the Chinese is behind on the, I don't know, miniature fusion and armor technology, but they're way ahead on bioengineering. But it doesn't make sense for it to break loose and kill the communists then. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking it's some kind of American bioweapon.
Yeah, bioengineered weapon. I like it.
Like, how many different... And that reminds me, because, like, you know, in World War II, there was, like, all these different arms manufacturers trying to pitch all different crazy ideas to U.S. military, you know? Mm-hmm. You should look at some of the shit that they were proposing in the 40s. I bet it's the same way, where it's like you had all these companies like, we've got, you know, super tanks. We've got dudes in 8-foot armor. We've got 15-foot tall and killable lizard. And what else are we going to discover? We've already had killer massage robots. Yeah. Like, what else is out there?
It's interesting because if it is a bioengineered weapon, it almost feels barely restrained, barely within the control of its masters, because it ponders him for a while. Like, it might want to eat him.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, do a crisp salute. It's like it's no. It feels like it kind of wants to eat him, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say it's as in control of itself as the men are of their armor?
Pretty much, yeah. At that point.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because, like, this is going to book in the episode, and a couple of things book in the episode. Yeah. And you can see it's all, like, it's tying what happened before to the result. Like, we fucked around at the beginning. Now we're finding out 200 years later. We continue to find out.
Yeah. And the okie dokie. That's the bookmarking of, you know, that, you know, what we'll say when our guys come and tell us when they need to get in these tin cans. We'll say okie dokie. And then that's the alpha and the omega as far as the dialogue in this. I wasn't sure. I'm not. Because that's not like a forced thing, because like it's one thing I know is like some Americanisms have, you know, just like adios in the English world, like everyone know, even though it's a word that's not in your own language, everyone knows what it means, you know. Okay is one of the most recognizable United States phrases. Like the whole world knows okay and what it means
Sure.
and kind of thinks that's cool. So them soldiers saying okie dokie, it's more of like a baby way, I guess. They're kind of infantiling the U.S. soldiers. There's a weird mix of bravado and resignation in these soldiers. You know, it's like they're taunting him, but also cognizant that they might become him.
Yeah.
And they have no more say in it than, kind of reinforcing Charlie White Knife's acceptance speech last episode.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's because they are losing the war and they know it, and they're going to have to resort to becoming like their enemy in order to have a chance, or if this is just, a recognition of how good the technology is. It's hard to imagine it's that, given that it's sparking at the knees and flopped on the ground, but
yeah,
I think it's
that's not. And what's funny is like that's not even Cooper's estimation of its biggest weakness. Apparently, you can just punch through the chest covering if you hit it on a weld line. So it's like, God, these are just pieces of shit. They look nice and shiny. Like I guess that's the other thing, is I never thought of the knight armor looking like it's in bad repair. Because it looks like, I'm used to seeing like Humvees, but they're not always spotless, man. They're weapons of war. They're not garage queens, right? They usually have like the way X-wings looked in the new. They got dings and scrapes and maybe some rust here and some oil leaks there. These things are fucking pristine, mint condition.
Yeah,
but
I get
they're
the
also
impression
giant
they're
pieces of shit.
New.
Yeah. Haven't worked the kinks out.
Yeah, based on some discussions that Cooper had with Bud later in the timeline. But I was under the impression that Lucy was kind of the okie dokie girl. But yeah, now that I see this here, I do think it was much more of an Americanism, where like that is how the world viewed us, as just okie dokie. With all that you can imagine that implies.
Right. It's like, it makes me remember. It makes me think of when the shoe's on the other foot, like when in Saving Private Ryan, when they got that one machine gunner and he's the only one less, and he's kind of begging for his life. He's doing anything he can to make a connection with these American soldiers, and he's going like, okay, Mickey Mouse, Betty Boop, what a dame. And he's just like anything he can do to identify to not, and it's we hell, we know Farfignugan. We know Schadenfreude. Everyone wants these words kind of cross-pollinate. That's what I'd do. If the Nazis rise again, I'd first try to appeal to my common German heritage, and then I'd be like, Nein, Schnitzel, Strudel,
Sure.
Schadenfreude. And they're like, yes, that's what I'm feeling right now, peerless dog, as they bayonet me.
Yep.
That's me. Aaron Hubbard, Nazi appeaser, I guess. Fourth Reich appeaser. Let's move on before we consider the meaning of that. Nice Frozenal Fallout title screen. I like.
Yeah,
I've always noticed that, but when you see the extreme, it just kind of highlights it. Feels real appropriate. I'll catch back up with Max and Thaddeus as they improve a plan after killing Paladin Xander. The half-ghoulish Thad will don Xander's power armor and try to pass himself off as the real deal.
Stupid.
Not a very good plan, but
it's a horrible
plan.
It gets worse and worse as the episode goes on, too, because of how bad Thaddeus is at this.
Is his brain gone ghouly? Because I feel like a squire should pilot the armor just a little, like it shouldn't take you 3 chances to get through a doorway.
Right.
Like the first time, I gotta squat down here.
I forgot I'm 7'5". Yeah, whoops.
I don't think he realizes that like his Vox transmitter is on constantly, because like he's keeping his stream of consciousness of like, positive, you're loved and you're cool. Everybody accepts it. Like it's this. Xander would never say any of these things.
Yeah, and I want to say like Sure, they flanderized Thaddeus a little bit, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it.
It is,
I
yeah.
think.
And he was always a goof, right?
Not early on
But
when he
Maximus
was being an
is
asshole, but after that, like, yeah, once he became Titus's knight, or I'm sorry, squire, he was
Yeah.
kind of a goof.
That was my read. It's like Maximus is also a goof, so one goof
Yeah.
can pull a goof on another goof, no problem. But
I will say the plan here seems fairly unnecessary from Thaddeus's point of view, because Thaddeus can just up and move. Like, he could just leave. This feels a little more self-serving for Max, and I will say Max just saved their asses, so
Yeah.
he might have a little cause here to ask for something in return. But like, Thaddeus doesn't need to don this armor and pretend to be Xander.
no,
He can just leave.
He can run, but like I think even Maximus acknowledges it, but Thaddeus knows deep down, just like he couldn't stay underneath the conveyor belt while Xander mowed down his child charges. He's a coward. But there's a limit, you put his back against a wall and he'll fight,
Yeah.
or he'll
right.
at least don power armor badly. And I was trying to think, it's like, do I buy, because this is such a bad showing, do I buy, but I'm like, I remember this guy is the emissary from like the high muckety muck brotherhood. There's probably a little bit of it seems like there's differences in chapters, and if you don't know Xander real well, it's just like, oh, he's just this goofy Commonwealth guy from the East, and he's just weird, or maybe he got maybe he got a blow to the head or something, but it gets pretty bad.
Oh, very.
I wonder what happens to the kids now, though, because like, did he put the oldest one in charge? Because that's the thing, like leaving all these kids in a sarsaparilla plant in the wasteland. I don't know if I would define it as kindness.
So you're talking about the ghoul children, right? Because he brings the normal human children with him, but the ghoul children have to be left there.
He brings the normal human children with him?
Yeah, it's all those kids in white T-shirts that Dane says just stay in this room.
No, those are just the Brotherhood's recruits, aren't they? I thought those kids were way older than the ones in the factory.
There were older kids in the factory. Maybe not. Yeah, you might be right about that. I mean,
they could get that many kids in the Vertibird. I just didn't take it as that.
Yeah, you could be right.
But yeah, I'm this will keep getting funny. But yeah, him struggling to get out that door. The way he walks with his hands just straight down to the side too, like he doesn't. It just looks so fucking weird, even in a robot. Lucy was unconscious, but she comes to at the NCR Rangers outpost with an armful of buff out. She gently turns down a recruitment offer by the Rangers, but gladly accepts the bounty from their armory, since they are decamping the area and couldn't possibly carry it all. I can only imagine that this is exactly like what a merchant scene looks like in Fallout, where like you go up to this random camp and it's some dusty person by a wooden box. They're like, oh, I can't carry it all. It opens up and your inventory screen opens. That's, I got that. This is another nod to kind of like the video games.
Yeah, it's a pretty good windfall here. I would say a lot of the dialogue in this scene is sort of the meat of it, right? Other than them getting weapons, what's really happening here is a moment of reflection for Lucy. What is she going to do? How does she feel about her father? Does she hate this man? Does she care about him?
Well, what
and her
say
response
you,
is,
Miss Lucy?
Someone who hurt a lot of people, and I'm going to bring him to justice, which we already knew that. You can see it on her face, though. This is not a question that she wants to answer, because she is furious with him and feels extremely betrayed by him.
The real answer is both. I love and hate this person.
So. Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't know what it is, but I feel like they keep on just improving Walton Goggins' makeup, and there's something about when he said, "I don't know, Miss Lucy, what do you?" The way they kind of shot his face at a certain angle from like a certain low level made him look just so funny and so smug. He actually reminded me. You've seen King of the Hill. Hank Hill's father, Cotton. If you Photoshop a black triangle over that man's nose, tell me he doesn't look exactly like Cooper as a ghoul.
I could see it.
Except for he's got shins. and Cotton didn't. Yeah.
And then at the end of that scene, it's interesting because the ghoul asks Lucy like what she thought about these people, and she says all I saw were another set of matching jackets. And I like, knowing what we know in the next scene, this could just be the drugs talking, and that's going to be the preface for everything with Lucy in this episode.
Yeah, I was
might
about
be the
to say
drugs
that
talking,
too.
but this is the first decent group she's come across in the Wasteland. Period.
Yeah, by far.
Every other one has tried to murder her or cut her up and sell her organs or something. How can she view them as just another set of matching jackets?
And it makes me think of the NCR even more in a positive light, because these people, after being through one of the most bitter, grinding experiences of having the first bastion of civilization wiped off the mat, and you survive it, and then you're fighting this horrible attrition war between these insane people. And I don't know about the squirrel guy, but at least one of these rangers still believes in truth, justice, and the humane way. I think that's and it's something that I think Lucy would have paid more attention to had she not been in drug, because she's a little too dismissive.
Talking. I agree.
Yeah, she's a little too dismissive of the Rangers, because I think that I don't know what's going to happen in Vegas. I don't know what's going to happen between her and Hank. I kind of would see her going with the Rangers rather than going back to the vault at this stage. At least she's well on that path.
Yeah.
How do you go back to the vault once you've been on the surface and you see what's going on up here?
Especially when you meet up with your brother and he's got information, and then Chet comes out here with the experiment stuff. Yeah, you can't go back.
Yeah. Experiment's over. Back in good old Vault 33, Reg is breeding support. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a sentence I've never had to say before. Back in good old Vault 33, Reg's inbreeding support group is a smash success. Is it because of the much-needed support to a distinct and underserved culture in the vault? Or is it the copious amount of water and snacks he's serving? Overseer Betty has some definite opinions on that issue.
This is hilarious.
I'm kind of revising my estimation of Betty downwards a bit, because if you can't put the kibosh on the incest water hoarders, like, that should be unless the vast majority of the vault has joined it and they're going to start bitching and moaning. I don't know. Like, I just thought it was wild that she seems completely flummoxed. Oh, because she doesn't want to declare martial law, right? She doesn't want to have to be. From her speech, it sounds like that she's kind of over the whole Vault Tech thing, and she just wants to live in as peace as she can.
I suppose so. I don't remember her speech word for word. Yeah, I could see
just
that.
saying, with her stuff, like, the experiment's over. Bud's gone. Like, the only thing in my 40 years I've learned, the only thing that matters is how we conduct ourselves in this community. And, Steph is too young. I mean, Steph must have been just unfrozen yesterday. I didn't put that together, but she has not aged that much. Like, Betty looks like she's had 40 years put on her, but how young was Stephanie when she got put into the pod?
Well, you could probably time it based on her child. Because, look, I imagine somebody who's been brought up just doing cousin stuff is going to want to get down to business immediately after getting married. And they're not using protection, so I imagine she was unfrozen about a year ago.
Wait, whoa. Why wouldn't they be using protection? Like, getting married is not a license to breed willy-nilly.
I assumed it was. I thought, like, once you get married, it's like, okay, go and have a kid now.
But then, then you'd start using
part
protection.
And parcel with. Yeah,
gotcha.
I can see that.
Okay. I thought you were like, they don't believe in condoms down there. And I'm like,
No, they have to. Yeah, they don't have the resources not to. But I would think, like,
WASP, not WASC.
You sign up to get married, you're also signing up to have a child, because, like,
That could be. Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's
what's the
expectation.
purpose? Just to stop you doing cousin stuff? Doesn't seem important enough. But
Weird
that
how
means
their morality is stuck in the 1950s, but they're like flexible enough to allow cousin stuff because they know teenagers are horny.
yeah, I mean they'd have a full scale rebellion without cousin stuff. First generation Vaulties would have just gone crazy.
Oh God, just random clips of this podcast. Yeah, they have a mass scale riot if they didn't allow cousin stuff. Had to enshrine. That's their Third Amendment in the Vault Constitution. Cousin stuff is allowed. All right.
Yeah, man. And now the inbreeders are taking over Vault 33. It's a whole thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Oh, the line. Nice jugs, Reg. As he's taking these water jugs through. God, it's like at some point I'm like, I shouldn't laugh at that. That's stupid, but I did. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's low hanging fruit, but it's still it's really funny.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the combination of the lowbrow and the highbrow that they do, which I think is a little bit of our special sauce here at Bald Move.
Very, yeah, well put. But seriously, Vault 33 is in bad shape. Like their crops are failing.
Oh yeah, their water is and essentially gone.
But Reg is just extravagantly wasting it, and that's the thing. Is like I thought it was interesting because on my second watch I paid attention to conversations, and there are people that are talking about inbreeding. It's not like they're all there, ha, we're inbred, give us water. But clearly when you look around, that is what everybody is drinking, and the guy's like saying, I can't believe I'm so thirsty. It's because they're under tight water rations. So like I don't know why Betty can't just be like, look, I'm pulling your charter, I'm pulling your hobby charter.
Right, emergency protocol. I'm invoking, the 10th Amendment to our charter. Whatever.
Maybe the Fourth Amendment is you can't revoke charters once funded. But it's like there's got to be some kind of anyway.
But here's the thing. So my estimation of a couple of people was changed during this episode. Lucy being one of them. Maybe Reg being another. He's either the biggest idiot on the planet, wasting all the vital water that they need to survive, or this is his ploy to take over the vault, to essentially usurp Betty's authority and have the entire inbreeding population, which is apparently everyone, because of course, and he's going to be their de facto leader, and now Betty has no power.
Yeah, him talking about her approval ratings is, I think, telling. I mean, it's the case. It's the stupidest Machiavellian plot I've ever seen.
It's cutting off your own nose, yeah.
That kind of... Because, yeah, like, you're going... Okay, Reg, you're going to get rulership of the vault. How are you going to make water appear? Mm-hmm. You're going to just have your club charter is just going to provide water to the whole vault? You don't see the problem with it? So, he's an idiot. But everyone in his vault, as far as I can tell, are idiots. Of one stripe or another.
And that includes Betty. Like, to your point, I think, like, Betty's really come down a few notches in my estimation as well. I was surprised how feeble she was in wielding her authority with Stephanie in this episode. She seemed to have none.
Well, it's interesting, because we'll get to that, because there's a lot of interesting details in our conversation I want to talk about. But like I think the real power change here is Bud going south. The Bud's dead and the vault is empty. There's no way you can get back to whatever they were supposed to be doing, or whether fail safes there were. Or,
now it's they're just bickering middle managers, like, running their own.
Yeah, it's real. Betty has no one to call. There is not going to be it's like she's realizing that that's it. Just what's in this. I don't have any higher power to appeal to.
Just hilarious because you're having what is happening in the wasteland now come down into the vaults, right? With these factionalized groups all just squabbling amongst each other, and suddenly that peace in the vault is broken, and it turns into that.
I think it powers into the profligate, we had last, and then we saw the first season.
Profligate, yeah.
Well, like the ghoul, I thought that was interesting when he gets his hand on like a year's supply of ghoul gas. Does he carefully husband it, or does he just shotgun all that shit? Because the ever popular do more drugs. there is something weird in wasteland cultures. Like if you've got something nice, don't hoard it. Just blow through it because you don't know if you'll be breathing tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
And I guess that's the other thing. It's like, if you're in a vaulty, you're gonna die. It's a foregone conclusion. You're gonna die thirsty. Why try to ration of water? You're just dragging out the dying of thirst part.
I suppose so.
Meanwhile, on the surface, Lucy quickly realizes she's become addicted to the buff out drip, and the ghoul offers her 2 solutions. Number 1, gut it out. Take 4 or 5 days of sweating, vomiting, fever, shaking. Or 2, the ever popular, do more drugs. Lucy chooses the latter. But it's okay. It's okay, because it's for the greater good.
Oh, yeah.
Her moral calculus. Well, it's hurting me, which I don't want to do, but I'm trying to stop my dad, which is going to stop a lot of suffering. So if I was an independent third, I would want some. If I was judging someone, I'd want them to take the drugs too. And then she's like, shh. But clearly she'd already made the decision to take the drugs, though, right? She's just trying to.
Her line: "I hereby quit drugs." Oh, it didn't take. I'm still addicted to drugs.
Yeah, like, oh, what's the first step? I'm going to admit that I'm addicted. Okay, now I can start recovering. Oh fuck! The air's still hot and itchy. What?
Yeah. No, she definitely resigned herself to, I need to take some more of these drugs. I mean, I guess she's only going to come down off the drugs when she runs out at this point, because once you're on the drugs and you start feeling itchy, you're not in your right mind to say no to more drugs.
True. Like there will almost certainly, I don't know which is funnier, the fact that she's going to have to go through a drug withdrawal arc, or that she just keeps taking more drugs. It's both of those are pretty funny potential outcomes. I don't know if buff out is harmful. That's the other thing. I guess if
I don't either.
I imagine if any stimulant you took it all the time, it'd probably shorten your life. But I don't know if it's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that dog meat is so fucking funny in this scene. This is it's a good looking dog, but when he folds his ears flat and he looks like a fucking harbor seal or like Santa's little helper from The Simpsons, and his ears is kind of, it's just a really, really funny effect, man. I love it. Dog meat.
Yeah.
What a guy. Max and Thaddeus arrive back at Area 51, and Dane immediately sees through his plan, but he's like, hey, don't worry. I'm going to kill Elder Quintus. So get the kids rounded up and protect them. Everything's going to be okay. He's not that calm.
No.
He is flying by the seat of his pants. We will later have confirmed.
Probably because he knows as soon as anybody talks to Thaddeus, the jig's up. And then...
yeah, it's telling that he's making a beeline to Quintus. He doesn't think this ruse is going to last very long.
And then what is, his ultimate plan here? I know his plan is to kill Quintus, and that might get him off the hook if Thaddeus can keep up the ruse long enough. But, long term, Commonwealth is still coming after you, right? For killing Xander?
I wonder if he didn't think that this would cause a general civil war melee, and that in the fog of war, who even is Maximus? Would he even be in anyone's top 20 list of suspects?
I guess at the very least, Dane realizes that. Because they take the kids
and Dane doesn't
over
care.
And say the shooting's about to happen. So
yeah. So I think it's he's maybe intentionally starting the civil war before anyone finds out about the emissary, so that he'll be able to get away in the gunfire. Although asterisks on that plan.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I got a question for you later on.
All right. I was thinking maybe it was if he kills Quintus, maybe he's got a chance at uniting the others, because now they have very little choice, right? He can say, Quintus is dead, I killed Xander, the Commonwealth is going to come after us regardless, now we have no choice but to fight. But if that was his plan, it just went right down the drain immediately.
Yeah. And it's a risky plan because it turns out they were ready to sell out Quintus. I don't think he knew how... over Quintus's bullshit everyone was, so I think
Right.
that's the other thing. I felt like I don't know. I mean, I guess it's probably somewhere in between. But I thought when Quintus was making his speech that he was making some inroads. He was actually getting people on board. And then Paladin Xander walks in and puts the kibosh on everything. But then Yosemite, she says, "Oh, I was never going to back him anyway." I wonder how true that is. Like, I guess it doesn't matter because all these people are going to be dead now. But
Right. But
I
felt
think
the
it's
same
a
way
fun
you
thing
did.
to debate.
Yeah. I did think he made some progress there, and it wasn't until Xander shows up that they all balked.
All right, let's move on to our junior executives being wrangled by Norm. He's led his junior execs to food in the form of dry pre-war pasta. Now it's time for step 2. But Norm doesn't know what step 2 is. A big, buff, self-assured junior exec named Ronnie knows, and is maybe halfway to knowing that Norm isn't all that he's advertised.
Yeah, they're feasting, man. They found just a ton of food. Boxes and boxes full of food.
Would a box of dry pasta survive for 200 years in California? I don't know. It's pretty shelf stable, but and I love the executives eating it and like trying to find the positive. Like, oh, I actually kind of like. I think the mouthfeel on this is better. Like, no,
Yeah.
eating uncooked pasta. I've done it. Who hasn't?
Oh, I've
Who
done it
hasn't
too.
Nibbled. Who hasn't nibbled on an end of a spaghetti stick or popped in a dry macaroni in your mouth? It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah, I find the spaghetti is more palatable than most because it's so thin, but like
Yeah.
you get a rotini or whatever those are called, the helixes, those things are brutal.
Imagine eating lasagna sheet. It'd be like trying to steal
just
through
psychotic.
an aluminum plate. Yeah.
That's
what the
shit you
fuck?
see, yeah. You see mental patients doing, man. No, spaghetti I understand. Lasagna.
So I want to, the first step if you had the lasagna sheet is you would probably cut it into spaghetti for easy eating. But
Sure.
I don't know, Jim. Did I step in an Italian minefield? Or they're going to be a whole bunch of 90-year-old Sicilian grandmas? But I can't believe he thinks spaghetti and lasagna are the same type. I mean, is it? I don't know.
Sure. They're made of the same stuff, I think.
Okay, well, there you go. Italian Americans got my back. I want to say, okay, what do we find out about these executives? One thing that I noticed is that one of them was literally hired and recruited last week and kind of doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Are all of these handpicked elite executives, are they all this stupid? Or is this yet another layer of the game they're playing where they've got some of the managers who are actually competent and they're Bud's handpicked men and the other are kind of like the servant class that they expect to sort all this stuff out in the end? What's your explanation for the gulf of confidence between Ronnie and some of these others?
I'm viewing this a little bit as like a corporate training program because like none of these people were intended to be woken up before the surface was ready to re-inhabit, except for one every so often, right? And you'd probably wake up the most senior ones and they would go into Vault 32 or Vault 33 and they would, tutor the next person who's woken up. Mm-hmm. So that's what I view it as, like a corporate training structure. But I don't even see anybody who is at like a low, forget about executive level. Everybody here is, as far as I can tell, the first week hire or a personal assistant to someone. Yeah. That's not even middle management. They strike me as
the best and brightest.
No.
Having said that, I think Ronnie intimidates the hell out of Norm. And I think this is the first time that Norm feels like, oh, God, how am I going to pull this off?
Well, Norm has no idea what the plan is. Yeah. So he's
You know,
doing his
I'm
best to
surprised
fake his way
Norm
through
didn't
it.
go with like, look, you've been a popsicle for the last 200 years. I've been sitting at the foot of Bud. I'm telling you, that plan is dead and done. There is a new
Right.
plan. You get on board right the fuck now, or puke up that pasta because I ain't wasting calories on losers. But instead, he took this kind of mealy mouth, which I don't know. Is Ronnie smart enough? The way he was played, I'm not quite sure if he's smart enough to pick up how evasive Norm is being.
I didn't read him as having picked it up, and in fact, I read it sort of as he appreciated this pat on the head token leadership
Yeah.
thing so much that he was
could
completely blinded by it. Like he was just giddy that he gets to participate as some kind of leadership here.
Yeah, you can even see that like maybe it was more of like, I'm worried that this guy's not going to take me back as the number two. But I just demonstrated my value, and now I'm the number two guy again. More, I don't know.
Totally.
I feel like he, just everybody in this Bud class that's been around longer than a week, I feel like probably has some kind of real and naked ambition. So even if
Yeah.
he's not the number, I think he'll want to be number one. But
I think so. I
maybe
think there's a danger here that Norm is like ignoring or doesn't know how to handle yet. But he's also maybe looking for information about what the plan was. Also, he doesn't want to just take this over and derail the plan. He wants to proceed
That's
down
true.
the steps
Yeah.
to see what information he
Yeah.
can get about it.
Yeah, but he can't be too ballsy at that, or then the guy he'd look stupid.
Right.
It would be funny if like phase 2 is literally after the team is well fed and rested, lead them to the nearest football stadium and conduct a fight to the death for leadership.
Okay.
I mean, that's as viable a plan too, is like, because like, you know, how are we going to, you know, we're all first among equals. How are we going to? I don't.
Some Wolf of Wall Street
I'm very
type
curious.
stuff.
I think he's going to have to. I think Norm's going to have to kick this guy's ass. He's going to have to give him a beat down. And it's not going to
Good
be
luck.
as easy as dumping a brain in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Guy looks like he's had more than his fair share of dry pasta. Down in Vault 32, it seems like Woody's having some trouble adjusting to things being reversed. And I get it. I've played Mario Kart. I know what it's like to have your course reversed on you. More importantly, he happens to overhear an intervault meeting between Betty and Steph, his new overseer. They're talking about water shortages and experiments, and gosh, what does it all mean, Jim?
I don't know. I found it funny that it's not just, oh, what's his name? The guy that was
Davey.
like, sorry, Reg, I can't vote for you. Davey, yeah.
Davey.
It's not just Davey who's having trouble with the navigation of this mirrored vault. I guess it's everyone. They've done an interesting job of like painting these people as naive, certainly, but also like so what is the word I'm looking for? Like their experiences are so cultivated that they are, if they get outside of what their day-to-day life is, they are completely ineffectual.
Yeah,
lost.
Out of the box thinking is literally impossible for them because they've never been able to get outside of the box.
Yes.
It's like Plato's cave. It's only theoretical what happens outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
I think you are exactly right about that. Yeah.
It says something about
that-
Lucy and Norm, I think, that they have adapted to being way outside the box.
Yeah. And probably forcibly they've had, you know, like when your own dad gets kidnapped, it kind of like forces you to confront things. But, and also like, I'm going to say like, if I was raised in a vault and I got into my 30s, 40s or whatever, and they just suddenly put me in a thing that's the reverse plan, I would be making lefts instead of rights all the fucking time.
Sure.
I just wouldn't. I think the difference between a person and a vault, like anyone can make that mistake, get habituated, but a vaultie is like, this is my biggest problem. I'm never going to overcome it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's, I Also, Davies coining the women's restroom as I accidentally walked into the women's men's room.
Jesus.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, Betty, and why is Stephanie being so hardball here? Like the way she says, "I got to think of my baby," like that's the right thing to say, but she's saying it with none of the emotional connection and feeling. Like she is just stunting on Betty here, and I don't understand why. Why are they enemies?
I think you hit on it when you talked about who these 31 vaultees are. They are people who were presumably very ambitious. I think Stephanie is a very ambitious person, and she sees this as an opportunity to solidify her power by simply letting Vault 33 die, and now she's the only one in charge.
It's interesting because like there's also some animosity because she's like, Betty, you're from Solvang. And I thought that was like an allusion to the multiple companies, and maybe it is, but I also noticed that Solvang is a real kind of like fairy tale. Like we live in something like this. Our community, like the main street of it is all themed like Tudor style, so all the buildings look kind of vaguely medieval. They got the same thing, and it's got all windmills and very Dutch Holland, but it's like a theme park. It's all just for. And I'm trying to think of maybe Solvang is another company that's based in Solvang. Maybe it's saying that you grew up in like a neighborhood that was privileged or fuddy-duddy or whatever. I'm not quite sure, but she's saying that like that's you're in the out group, Betty, and not in the in group.
Gotcha.
But also like, is it possible that Steph wasn't frozen because we never saw her before? Is it possible that Steph's one of the breeding but like like if Lucy would have come of age, whatever coming of age in a vault looks like, would have Hank taken her in his confidence and told her the secrets of the vault, since she's part of his genetic legacy? Because I'm wondering I got the feeling that her and Lucy grew up together, like that they've been friends a long time, but maybe not.
I don't know. I don't think there's anything that really explicitly says that. I do think there would be a natural desire, though, if you're Hank, to have your children succeed you in some sort of power role there. I think he would want that. Whether he would force that against protocol, I don't know.
How do they introduce unthawed characters into the other vault?
It's
because it's not like
marriage
a person
thing, right? It's like, well, you're getting married to a random person from another vault.
Of course. And that's those guys all came from Vault 31 or things.
Exactly. Yeah, they always come from 31.
Yeah, because I'm like, how do you have a full did they? Yeah. All right. Easily explained, but yeah, I don't know. Betty was really banking on some more fellow feeling, like that Steph would feel the same thing about the futility of 31 that she does, but Stephanie still is young enough to think she can win this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Woody, and he just happens to walk by because he's a dumbass and he got mixed up and he saw this massive violation of Vault Protocol.
What do you think is in the keepsake box? Should I know that, having watched this show? Is it some cold fusion thing? Is it... She says it's personal.
I'm afraid to share my first thought. So maybe you go first and it'll embolden me.
Okay. Like, something personal doesn't seem useful.
It might help if me and Cecily said the same thing almost exactly the same time. But I'm like, is it a vibrator?
Jesus.
Because like I think that like we're thinking it's like some big.
Thank God.
That's what I'm saying. She seems like a gal that has needs and has been underserved, and if she could just
for sure
just take that's I think would be the funniest thing.
Why would Hank have that in his keepsake box? Hey, I don't want to shame him. Whatever he wants to get up to, Hank can get up to.
Guys can enjoy some good vibrations too, I suppose. But yeah, maybe sure. She knew it's a Lucy's mom's toy, and she knew that Hank kept it as a keepsake.
God.
But I handed down the Lucy one. Also, if you're a dad and you know your daughter's starting to do cousin stuff and you got a vibe in the closet, fuck you, man.
Bust
Fuck
that thing
you.
out.
Yeah. That's an awkward conversation to have with your daughter, but you know what's more awkward? Her fucking her cousin. Just my thoughts. Anyway.
It's a hand-me-down from Grandma Tilda. Jesus. I was going to say maybe it's like...
This is an antique heritage vibrator. It's based on an old adapted butter churn that... yeah.
I was going to say maybe it's something to do with Cooper. Maybe it's like a signed headshot of Cooper. Maybe that's personal. Because he was really emphatically excited to meet Cooper.
But this isn't Bud's hope chest. This is Hank's. So Hank super
met
excited.
him at
You're
the
right.
end of
Hank
last
was
season.
the one that was super excited. But what good would that do to Betty? I'm sorry,
Stephanie.
to
I don't
Stephanie.
know. I don't know why she would want that. Like nothing I can think of would be personal to either her or Hank and be in his possession.
Yeah. Because if it was like, oh, he's got the key to the nukes and I want that, she would just say that, right? She wouldn't say, oh, it's in a keepsake thing. And how would she know? I don't know.
I mean, we know nothing about Stephanie from before the vaults. So
except for apparently her and Hank have had extensive discussions if she knows what's in his keepsake box.
That's the thing. I think next episode or an episode later or something, we're going to see a flashback to what could actually be meaningful in that box, and maybe they open it at the end or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't expect this to be a season-long mystery.
No. Because I bet he has no options either. Like, her option is they all dehydrate to death, or she goes and finds this box and gives it to Stephanie.
Maybe it's the pluribus watching I've been doing, but I couldn't help but notice that Stephanie didn't say, if you get me this box, I will give you water. She said, if you get me this box, I will consider giving you water. The fuck kind of deal is that, man?
It's no deal at all.
Betty, dot your I's, cross your T's. You've got 2 T's in your name. You've got practice doing this. Come on. So, back on the surface, Lucy and Cooper arrive on the outskirts of Vegas, and things are off. Like, where are all the people, man? I don't see nothing but Elvi out there. Lucy then gets to blow off some steam.
Kings, baby. This was fun. This was from the trailer.
Yeah, I wish there was more of it because I was so tickled by the ghouls seeing through the telescope, and these ghouls, like, they're kind of shambling around, but they're also, like... doing their hips and popping their collars, and I'm like, I want to see a fight style, like a brutal form of like West Side Story, where they're kind of like, oh, I'm all shook up, but they're also kicking ass. Nah, they just got their ass kicked.
Yeah, it's
feral
fun,
Elvi ghouls.
Lucy got to let loose. Yeah. She seemed surprised by her own gung ho killing in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also the other thing I think that was really menacing is the fact that all these Robco robots, which gave 2 Knights of the Brotherhood a run for their money, they're multiple of them are just slain in the streets.
Is it just foreshadowing for the demon?
That's my question is which came first? Did the demon come and slay everyone in New Vegas? Is that how fucking powerful this thing is? Or did the demon fill a power vacuum?
Right.
Like Vegas was abandoned from some other fight, and then the demon moved in to... I don't honestly know.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to interpret it as foreshadowing for the end of this episode where,
oh, for sure.
The demon, the Deathclaw,
definitely
shows up. But there could be something more at play here. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Robert like that? Has he been dethroned, or is this part of the plan? Did he decide
no idea, man. I expected him to be just sort of hanging out in Vegas when Hank showed up, and
but like
nothing.
Is Robert House the kind of guy that'd be like Biff, in Back to the Future, where he's got this big tower and it's Biff's, it's like, is he that kind of guy that he would just want to hang out at the casino and be the big guy? Like, I don't feel like that's quite him. He's more of a Howard Hughes type.
Yeah, he's the guy who's using a stunt double in public, so.
Right. maybe he keeps that up, and he's still in his laboratory doing whatever. And also, how the hell does he live this long? Is he doing it like I would think he is, or is he's like just spending vast amount of times in cryopods and is waking up every 5 to 10 years for a week or two to do some stuff and go back? Has he cracked? Has he cracked some kind of immortality serum? Is he a ghoul? Is he like a Cooper and he's ghoulified himself, but he's kept sane?
Oh,
the fact that he's
Justin
completely
Theroux's
lost.
That's something I'd
you
like
got
to see.
2 good-looking guys that you are ghoulified. I mean, why not?
Maybe he's a robot. Maybe he put himself into one of his robots.
Ooh, that's a good call. I like that. But why would he allow Vegas to fall? That's what I don't. How did the man who ended the world get pushed out of his own town?
I don't know.
Or maybe it just suits his purposes for Vegas to be empty and demons patrolling it. I don't. Yeah, I'm very curious. It's been a while since we've seen Hank. I know Hank reached out to him, or at least that's what we thought. I wonder, like, Hank getting an answer back would be very informative right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out in 205. Yeah, also, did we talk about this, or was this pre-show banter? Because whoever their music guy is, whoever found this 1940s banger about a guy murdering people under influence of cocaine, my God, well done. This might be the most on-the-nose, period-appropriate piece I've ever heard played in media.
Yeah, and then Lucy's reaction to it. She's like surprised and delighted at first, and then after it's all over, I felt like with her hand shaking and stuff, there was a like recognition of what she'd done and a clash of like her actual personality versus the drugs.
Because here's the other thing, more to your point about what's happening is like, I will say that she didn't come up like shooting first, asking questions later. She started with all of her standard peacenik shit, and as soon as the Kings attacked her, then she enjoyed the violence.
Yeah, she blew off a leg and was like, oh, that felt good.
Yeah, this is some heavy artillery. Got this powerful gun now, not this little pistol anymore. And then like she's like she's I didn't even realize she was hitting all headshots. And then when the one ghoul tackles her, she's like, I'm all good on. What does that mean? I'm all good on heads. They're just ghouls, right? That she's like, okay, now I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Start blowing off limbs intentionally and just doing cool shit. Is that what she was saying? They're just ghouls.
I think so.
And that's the wild thing. You think of Lucy in the supermart that let all those ghouls out. She's traveling with a ghoul, and she said to a ghoul, they're just ghouls, right?
Yeah. To him, and that registers on his face too.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me wonder what's going to happen when she does finally kick this habit, and she comes back to her senses. How's she going to feel about what she's done?
I'm worried that. Well, I'm not worried. It's perfectly fine they did this, but I bet that her come down happens in between seasons. They come back and she's like, it's like just getting up shaky from a cot, and Ghoul's like, God damn, it's about time you got done with the shakes and the shitting, or whatever he's going to say.
Sure.
I do love he's got some great lines when he's like, I do believe these are the drugs talking, but I like what they're saying. But he might even be a little like he's admiring and kind of, but is he a little bit afraid too of like, oh geez,
yeah, I think so.
What have I made? You already mentioned Lucy getting the shakes, which I think that's part of the saying that she's going to need more drugs or what have I done? Meanwhile, back in Area 51, Thad tries to fit into the cafeteria, but starts having a panic attack when he starts fielding multiple offers to betray Elder Quintus from the other Brotherhood factions. Meanwhile, Maximus confronts Quintus, and Dane rounds up the youngsters and manages to stash them in a warehouse, and, because Dane's that badass, nicks the cold fusion artifact to boot.
All right. Talk about flanderizing a character in the span of just like an episode. How does he expect to eat? He can't open his visor. I know he's probably feeling hungry as a human, but does it not register that I can't sit down here and open this visor and put food in my face. And yet he's carrying a tray of food.
It's not his plan, Jim. I don't think they obviously didn't have a chance to rehearse it in the Vertibird on the way home, right? You know, because they're...
Sure, and he just got hungry and didn't think about it.
And we know that some knights do take oaths not to remove their armor, because that's what Maximus pulled on Thaddeus in the first season to fool him for a while. But like, I just felt a guide like this. It worked for me because it didn't work at any level. Like, it fell apart at the first scrutiny, and like it didn't. The thing didn't last 60 seconds of real universe time between the elder coming and approaching him and the elder trying to lift up his face mask. So it's a shitty plan, and it went as a shitty plan would go. So
no, it's hilarious for sure. I mean, Thaddeus is just the biggest dumbass in the world, and I think it works partially because, like, okay, this guy's acting really weird, and he's really bad with this armor, but this is a dude in power armor, and if I go questioning a knight, I might just be on the wrong end of that power armor.
And he's not just anyone; he's the paladin from the Commonwealth, so he's not from around here. He's like a kind of. I got the idea that he's a singular individual. Like, he took a Vertibird himself out there. He did not come with a retinue. Might have been stupid.
That's what I thought too. Yeah,
it's possible. Like, you know, because he could fly it himself. They just might be scared of him, man. It's like if Darth Vader came out of the blue to the Death Star's cafeteria and grabbed a thing. Like, how many even if he was saying a bunch of crazy shit, like he's got, like, Darth Vader's got Tourette's. Like, what stormtrooper's going to be like, man, fucking, I don't know. It doesn't sound like a Darth Vader I've heard of. I'm going to go tug on his cape, see what happens. Fuck no. Mm-hmm. He's going to roll with that shit.
He's got a lot of latitude, I guess. And he uses every single bit of it.
So I couldn't help but notice when
him
Dane
getting out of the Vertibird too. We didn't talk about that, but when he's like backing out, trying to feel the ground under him, like,
dude, it's like Wolf of Wall Street. It's like Leo trying to get into his Lamborghini, man. Like,
yep. Greatest scene in that movie.
I couldn't help. Oh my god, you and I both read that movie and I pissed ourselves laughing. I couldn't help but notice when Dane was stashing the kids that at least one of those kids gave a look of, I ain't buying this shit. Like, as the camera zoomed in on his face, he's like, I don't know about this. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Maximus and Thaddeus are going to get away scot-free?
I think in the chaos, yeah, there's a good chance. I mean, otherwise, like, where does the show go? I mean, it's better if they're on the run again, because then they have an opportunity to at least run into Lucy.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. We're not quite there to talk about it, but I do have an alternate theory to propose.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about, because that's the other thing I guess was shocking, is not only how ready they were to betray Quintus, but like how down and dirty the bidding was. It's like, I'll take care of him.
Yeah.
I'll take care of him for 300 fusion cores. I'll do it for free. And that's why you can't deal with women. They're crazy. They trade Quintus for 3 magic beans. I don't know.
I'll say it's bold of them to start a shooting battle in a room with a power armored knight in it, because that knight could just light up that entire room.
But also, but if you look at the other way, that they think this is genuinely the emissary, like, that might be showing zeal that they need to get his backing. Because if he's like, oh god, these are a bunch of snakes, and
he won't shoot me as long as I kill the right people. Yeah. Right.
Do you think what's going on with the cold fusion tech? To me, and since Dane gives it to Maximus, and he's not an asshole, but he is still too much of a dumbass for my liking. To me, this is the story of how Robert House is finally going to get the cold fusion that he's been looking for 200 years.
He's going to bring it right to him, right to Vegas.
Yeah, because he's going to look for Lucy if he's got nothing else to do.
I can see it. It makes a lot of sense.
I can't see how it gets there, but that is what I think is because the other explanation of what is he going to get to the NCR? Is he going to use it to restart civilization? Is it?
Yeah. No, that's I like that. I like that idea.
I thought there was other interesting about the elder Quintus conversation with Maximus is that they drew a line that says Quintus was the knight that found Maximus in Shady Sands.
Oh, I missed
He
that.
said, now he could be speaking allegorically, but he calls him son a few times. But he said, when I found you in Shady Sands, da 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 da. He could be speaking as like, wasn't when you were brought to me as the soup, but like I think they're trying to say no, just to give it a little extra spice to Maximus that this is kind of a father figure that he's betraying.
That makes sense. I mean, to become a cleric, I assume you have to have served some time as a knight, right? That seems like an evolution.
Yeah. I don't think
promotion.
you'd probably have to. I imagine there's a way through the other class system to become like a scribe.
What
or
is
cleric
the other class system we've seen here? I haven't
That's
really
true.
seen it. All I've seen is a bunch
You
of
got
children getting trained to be
boys,
squires and then knights.
squires, knights, and elders. They're not called. I mean, like an elder, like the title implies that it's an old. Yeah, like I think you're right. You got me on board. I think like you graduate from knighthood to elder cleric status.
Could be. But yeah, that does make sense. The timing probably works out there too.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Because what kicks it off is like right away they discovered that the artifact's been stolen. And then Yosemite thinks that Coronado's behind it, so she sticks him in the mouth of that knife, and then...
that scene.
Yeah.
They almost like puppet his tongue with that knife. I hate it.
I did. Like, is she going to do like a one smooth Cuban necktie technique that I haven't been aware of? Like, yeah, It was wild. It was wild. What do you make of the fact that Quintus isn't dead? Like, pointedly so. Chained into an office.
Yeah. I mean, he's lost his sword. At the very least, he's got no factions on his side. The Commonwealth is definitely going to come for him. I can't see how he would factor in as important in the next steps.
What do you think Dane's plan is? Is he going to stay on the base, or is he going to take the kids in a different direction? And like his way of thinking, the artifact and the children are the two most important things. I'll take one, Max takes the other. What's your read on that?
Yeah. I could see that. I'm honestly not sure why Dane wouldn't just go with Max.
Yeah.
If he's leaving, go with him. Take the kids, do what you feel is right, but there's nothing here for you anymore.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I watched this a bunch of times. At the end, there's this epic scene of like Area 51 and all the airships engaged in battle and vertibirds and like all this crazy shit happening. I noticed there's one vertibird that seems like it's coming right towards Maximus and Thaddeus. Like it's headed right towards them. And like it's like I can't believe that the pilot in that position wouldn't see them fleeing because he's not that far up. So like now, so there's the middle part, because I don't think the entire Brotherhood's going to come after them, but I do wonder if that's not Quintus.
Okay.
The happy side would be it's Dane, but I have no evidence that Dane knows how to fly a vertibird.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like that's something they teach squires.
No, they certainly didn't teach Max.
It could be Quintus. It could be Dane with the kids. Any other possibilities?
Not that makes sense.
Because it's either other versions of enemy. Because I don't think he has other allies on that base. But it's like some other. It could be one of the other, elders. But it seems like if it's anybody, it's going to be Quintus or Dane. Why do you think Maximus can't kill? Is it just a father-son relationship they have, or is it just that Maximus still isn't a killer? Like he does the things he has to do, and in this situation, he doesn't have to kill Quintus.
I think that's it. Yeah, he kind of explains it himself. I felt bad for him in that scene. It's but I'm also like proud of him in that scene. Like he doesn't choose to do these things that he has to do; they just keep happening. And it's because he's got his heart in the right place.
Yeah, like Dane says, you don't ever have to apologize for not murdering someone.
Right.
Speaking of doing the right thing, Woody steps up and faithfully reports the violations of Vault protocol that he witnessed Stephanie and Betty making to his authorized overseer, Stephanie.
Dumbass. What is he doing?
It's like, I mean, look, this Vault, it tells you a lot that he has never reported a violation in his life. And I don't think that means he's never seen one. I mean, I don't think that means he's kept on a few. I mean, I think he's literally never seen one break a Vault protocol law. You know, he might have done, you know, like whatever, him and cousin stuff or whatever. But like, you know, like doing this kind of big no-no is absolutely not. So it's like, again, the whole thinking outside the box. If the policy says you report this to your overseer, and you don't know that there's, and you're pretty sure there's no one over the overseer's head, like what the fuck if the overseer's breaking? Like it feels like it's like one of those things where it's like, well, impeaching the overseer is the first step towards, you know, getting justice for that. Because elsewise, it's like, and the way that Stephanie just follows into it and tries to like kind of hopes a little bit that Woody's super dumb. She's like, oh, well, yeah, and the policy says I should escalate it to my supervisor. So, and then Woody's like, but you're the supervisor. And she's like, oh, well, I'll let you know what the report finds out. Like,
Yeah.
she gets ballsier and ballsier about kind of like out and out being like, fuck you, Woody, stop asking questions. It's bad for your health. She's getting pretty heavy handed towards the end.
Yeah, I think she's used to being able to manipulate people, because you got to think, right, all these people were raised in the Vault with these strict structures and rules and like I said, a curated sort of managed experience of life. She's from before all that. She knows how to manipulate. She knows how to be nasty and mean and how to take advantage of all these naive people.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Woody might be naive and I don't know, pliable enough to go along with this and say, well, I did my job. That's all there is to it.
Right.
Chet's the problem because he has the experience with Norm and Lucy. Chet is now the problem. And I like that they're pairing these two things because Chet in this scene also finds information about her that he didn't know, her Canadian ID from pre-war.
Yeah. So that dumbass me, that proves that she cannot be an original settler from the Vault. I'm pretty sure we already knew that, but I goofed up.
So he's the problem now, right? Like he's still got a little bit of that lingering, oh, Norm was right about all of this.
Right.
And now it's just reinforced. And he knows that the woman he's living with and whose child he is nursing and taking care of, spending his life on, is potentially evil. Not who she says
because she's
is,
Canadian.
Anyway.
Let me ask you this:
right?
Is the Canadian thing just a bit of world building that is a little uncomfortable here as I'm sitting in January 8th, 2026, year of our Lord, that the United States has annexed Canada? Is it just a piece of world building, or is it supposed to say something sinister, like she's un-American? And again, I'm so sorry, Canada. I love Canada. I love you, Canadians.
All
like
us
bacon.
reasonable Americans do.
I even like your weird mini France. I like going to old Quebec, checking out the castles, speaking pidgin French. Fucking no notes. Love you guys as neighbors. However, if I'm looking at this from a 2070 hyper patriotic American, maybe there is something about these fucking pinko Canadian Canucks. Can't trust them. They're not real Americans.
I mean, we've only interfaced with America in this show, as far as I can tell, and now communist China / maybe Russia. I don't know.
I will say that might be the funniest possibility, if seeing a maple leaf flag on someone's passport is like Indiana Jones going through and seeing a Nazi stamp and somebody's like, dun, 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 like, oh my God, they're Canadian.
Sure.
Although, little known fact, the Canadians' conduct in World War I is the reason we have the Geneva Conventions. So don't push those fuckers. Don't push them.
Oh my God.
Just
waterboarding
back away,
people with maple syrup.
Give them their maple syrup and back away slowly. Give them their hockey and their curling and their maple syrup and like, okay, I don't want any war crimes here, okay?
The 3 things we know about Canada: hockey, curling, maple syrup. Here's
But
what I will
like,
say.
I would just love the idea of you open up and every time you see a maple leaf, they smash cut to "Oh Canada" on
That's
card
what it
for D,
is.
but like the
That's
minor
what's
version.
in Hank's case. The last remaining authentic maple leaf shaped jar
maple
of
syrup.
maple syrup.
Yeah, and there's no maple trees left. They all got irradiated. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
is it.
This is it.
This is fries, anchovies, man. You're never going to get
Yep.
Yeah. That would be one thing a Canadian would want more than a vibrator in a vault full of cousin stuff.
I will say, regardless of Canadian or not, the fact that she is 200 years old is what is bothering Chet here, right? And that she is pretending that she is not.
What, he's not down with GILFs?
Good Lord. Good.
Giga
Giga
GILF.
gilfs.
All right. Shall we move on?
Please.
All right, let's take us home, Jim. Finally, on the hot Vegas Strip, which, by the way, is deserted. The Ghoul and Lucy hear a strange noise. Lucy feels ready to take on anything, and then a 3-story demon steps out to say hello. I knew this fucking thing was huge, but when it stood up and like collapsed the levels of I was like, God damn.
Yeah, that's strength, baby.
That's
Doesn't even
some
notice
power.
that building as it stands up into it.
Right. Yeah, it stood up in that the way I would stand up in, I don't know, what a child's playpen, the mesh covering, or just come out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was backing up your point. It's been a long day,
Cardboard box.
okay?
I was worried. You said stand up through a child, and I was starting to balk.
No. Yeah, let's move on.
But it's funny, Lucy
yeah,
here's her behavior. She's just like calling out to her dad.
It's just
It's drugs, man.
It's the drugs screaming dad, the drugs overconfidence. This reminded, this is classic Dak from Empire Strikes Back. Feel like I could take on the whole empire myself, and then he's getting crushed by the AT-AT Walker.
Mm-hmm.
How did they get out of this? Because I like even the fucking Ghoul's scared.
Yeah.
There's not
He's
enough
more
okie
scared
dokie
than
in the
Lucy
world.
because he knows.
Yeah.
And he's had personal experience. I do wonder if this is like the same one. I doubt it, because Alaska to Vegas is a pretty big hike.
Right. Although they've had 200 years to make it.
That's true. He could do it. But the Ghoul knows the power of these things.
Maybe that demon's a she. Check your fucking privilege, shitlord.
That's
Why
true.
would assume it's got to be a masculine snow demon?
I know just as many female
First of
demons
all.
as I do male demons.
True.
So, you're right.
True.
But yeah, he's scared of it because he met one of these things in Alaska. He saw what it could do. He might have seen one in the meantime too.
I'm sorry, you don't need to meet one of these things in the flesh to be afraid of it. This thing is a fucking Balrog that someone's taken a fire extinguisher to, okay?
But you do need to be sober enough to appreciate it, to be afraid of it, which Lucy is not. So there's that like disparity there, which I think is funny. And I will say also that the area they're in feels so much like an arena, like walled off area that you would fight a boss in a video game.
It does. I felt the same way. This feels so video gamey, the way these streets are set up, where it looks like you can explore anywhere, but
really there's a bus blocking this direction and a gate over on that. The won't
you
open
couldn't possibly
until
wriggle underneath that bus or climb over it. What?
Right.
I'm wearing power armor. What do you expect? The other thing is, like, I got that this is supposed to be a swinging burg, man. This is like Philly times 100. Like, there's so many not former businesses, but active businesses that still are an ongoing concern. Hotels and lounges and bars and casinos. There should be people here. Like, not million, like a couple thousand at least. It's not like Vegas on a fight night right now, but...
No, but you're right. The Ghoul's looking at all the robots that have been destroyed.
That too.
And it's like, oh, something went on here.
It seems to me that the way they get out of this is either Hank shows up or Robert House shows up.
Okay.
this is going to get two factions that we need to get together because I don't think, I don't know, but I find it hard to believe that the Ghoul and Lucy working together can beat this thing. Presumably you can 1v1 it in the games, because like that's
Sure, if you have the right weapons.
you grind up enough XP, you can do anything. But
I don't know. We'll see how it goes, man.
yeah, minor cliffhanger.
The big-eyed
All right.
okie dokie.
Wide-eyed okie dokie. All right, that's all we got to say, but it's been a long time since we've heard what you had to say. We've been on vacation and whatnot, doing Christmas and New Year's and all that good stuff. Jim, did anyone in the meantime and in all that time send anything to fallout@baldmove.com?
Yeah, we got a few messages here that I was gonna read. I only went back like a week, so I didn't pick up too much.
I will
here.
say before we get that, a little bit of promo work. Tonight, if you're listening to this on Thursday, is the first episode of season 2 of The Pit, which me and Jim are jumping with both feet, all 4 feet, on this season. Could be doing that for the next like 4 months. Check it out. We got a really nice, well-received 2+ hour review of season 1 of Pit and preview for season 2 out on the feed right now. Look for Into the Pit or Bald Move Prestige wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're more of the power suit and ice demon kind of guy or gal, guess what? Night of the Seven Kingdoms got another unfinished Martin work to try on HBO. We're going in and doing 6 episodes of that. And then I know there's another thing I'm forgetting, but we're gonna have season 2 of The Bear, probably season 3 of Silo. There's all kinds of stuff. Check out Bald Move Pulp or Bald Move Prestige if you want all that stuff. And as always, you can support us and get ad-free feeds and a bunch of other great stuff by going to support.baldmove.com. Thanks in advance. All right, Jim.
All right, we're gonna start off the feedback with George, who is asking. I was hoping you could tell me what the name of the emo song you guys use to open and close the podcast is called and the band that performs it. I absolutely love it, and I'm hoping it's on Spotify. Aaron, where do we find this song?
It is, that was written and composed by a bald mover using abominable intelligence. And although we did write the lyrics, or at least part of the lyrics, because I had a whole... Yeah. The chorus, because as soon as he said Fallout Boys, I think the Discord, as I immediately came back, we're going down through a vault underground, and we're doing cousin stuff in it. But yeah, with the abominable AI, we Fallout Boyed it.
Right? Talk
I don't
about
know, maybe we should.
On the nose track picks. If there was a song out there that was this song and we had just found it and picked it.
Imagine.
Let's go over to Luke. Says, I was hoping to bring some perspective of a game fan into some feedback and do some light lore dumping, while also trying to be respectful of the fact that some things that we as fans of the games know and take for granted will likely be revealed later down the line in the show. The thing about this show that I have really appreciated as a fan of games is that thus far they have managed to be unpredictable with regards to who will come out on top in the wasteland when all is said and done, and with many of the mysteries surrounding our characters. Simultaneously, it is, by and large, as accurate to the spirit of the games as any adaptation could be. Something I wanted to clear up as far as lore goes is the idea of the Commonwealth. And this was interesting, I didn't know this. The Commonwealth is a regional location in the games encompassing Boston and the wider area of Massachusetts post-war. Pre-war, the United States in Fallout's timeline was not divided into 50 states, but 13 Commonwealths. One of which is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which is why you will or should never see a modern 50 stars and stripes flag in Fallout. Mind blown.
I had no idea that was the aspect of the lore. They're like Pan Am. They've gone back to 13 districts, eh? Hunger Games, Jim. Hunger Games.
That explains it. Why I had no idea what you were talking about.
You haven't seen any of the Hunger Games?
I have seen the first Hunger Games. I couldn't tell you anything about it other than J-Law shoots a arrow or two.
Yeah, she's...
That's my recollection of that movie.
Regular Robin Hoodette. Fuck, I got the... What were we saying?
Oh, just the 13 Commonwealths as part of the United States
Interesting.
pre-war. And so I guess that's how
Okay,
they kind
that
of
is
divided it
interesting.
back up again.
13
That being
originally.
said, the Brotherhood chapter from the Commonwealth is present as one of many joinable factions in one of the Fallout games. They initially took an interest in the Commonwealth because of the advanced and potentially dangerous technology they believe is present there. They're portrayed very accurately in the character of Xander, who embodies a lot of the self-righteousness and idealism in this iteration of the Brotherhood. My final point is regarding Hank, Vault Tech, and my personal theory for the real villains in all this. Go back and watch the first bit of Season 1, Episode 2, and closely pay attention while keeping in mind everything we know about Vault Tech and other like minded corporations and their relationship to the U.S. government in the show so far. And I will say, for people who don't remember what that scene is, that's the one where Siggy Wilzig, the head throughout Season 1,
Did
takes the the cold fusion stuff.
yes, the artifact.
Yeah, the cold fusion device, the artifact, whatever you want to call it. It's that scene. It says, I believe the main villains in this story arc are the Enclave, the faction showcased in that small part of the show. It would be very in keeping with everything fans of the games know about the faction, which I won't get too deep into here for fear of potential spoilers for the show. I just find it odd the Enclave are introduced once to literally set the plot in motion and never again, but their presence over the story looms like a shadow to me and to some other in the Fallout fandom. There are things in that scene that, with them after rewatching and comparing what they were doing with the experiments that Hank is running, really got me thinking. All right, I thought that's some pretty good context because I didn't know that about the pre-war stuff.
Yeah, me
And
either. And I appreciate, like, I'm gonna try to synthesize the first paragraph or two with the last paragraph because like there's so many different ways to adapt things. You know, like you've got Godfather 1 and 2 are a very faithful adaptation of the original novel, The Godfather. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings is a fairly accurate with some substitutions and embellishments and for mostly understandable purposes. Master and Commander is not a faithful adaptation of the book. It's the wrong time. It's a wrong enemy. It might be in the wrong ocean, and it's like cribbing from different, but like it feels incredibly faithful to the characters and the themes, and it feels like reading an unpublished book by Patrick O'Brien. And both forms of adaptation are useful. So like, and I'm kind of glad that this is one of the few franchises that has a ton of lore behind it that I don't know anything about because I don't have to be precious about any of that stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
the Enclave can just be some weird thing that got the dog in the head from, and that's it. I don't need to know. It's the prancing. It's like Bree in Lord of the Rings. I know enough about Bree to know that there's an inn there and a bunch of men and hobbits hang out, and you know I don't need to know its chief export and how much money it makes in taxes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually having a ball of being just judging the adaptation on nothing but is it entertaining and do I buy it?
yeah, I agree. All right, Luke has got some other context here for us. You were asking about what exactly the Commonwealth is in the latest episode. He says it's a geographic region, not a government. The Commonwealth chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel has been shorthanded as the Commonwealth in the show so far, but they're just another chapter, except much stronger. They're a significant faction in the Commonwealth area, but merely one amongst many. They do not hold sway over the entire region, or at least they didn't in Fallout 4, which is set a few years before the show. And even if they do now, the point is that they aren't the military arm of a civilian Commonwealth government. There's no such thing. Also, as you rightly pointed out, the Legion are actually correct about their classical Latin pronunciation, and it isn't an ambiguous thing. We very much know how classical Romans spoke Latin because they wrote about it for starters. Vulgar Latin. I like that. In the early Middle Ages, evolved to include the soft C and other features, such as the V pronounced as W, which would end up not only a feature of ecclesiastical Latin, the Latin we might hear anywhere nowadays, as established by the Catholic Church, but also in modern Italian. So this is how classical Romans spoke. Caesar was Kaiser. Julius Caesar's famous phrase, Vini Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Wasn't pronounced Vini Vidi Vici.
No.
Instead, Weni Widi Wiki.
It sounds like something Waluigi would scream in frustration
Widi Widi
as
Wiki.
Mario beats him in Mario Party.
This usually comes as a shock to people, and they often can't take the actual pronunciation seriously. I wonder why, but that's how it was.
I mean, when expand like one of the biggest storied franchises in basketball history is the fucking Celtics.
Yeah, fair.
So
Hilarious.
like it's super. But it's so funny, like how I imagine like 90% of the viewers watching that get on their high horse, like all those fucking stupid wastelanders when we're the barbarians.
Mm-hmm. And finally, Ryan, with another fun little bit here that's gonna keep me up tonight. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I was listening to your coverage of Season 2, Episode 2 of Fallout. Jim said, Scorpions are a little less mobile and aren't going to drop down on you from the ceiling. This is only partly true. Scorpions can crawl on walls and ceilings just like spiders.
Get the fuck out.
But unlike
no
spiders...
way can they drag that fucking bulky-ass weapon that's half the size of their body up a wall and across a ceiling. Really?
Ryan says they can, but unlike spiders, they aren't great at it. And as such are known to fall from the ceiling. In my case, falling right into my bed, stinging the crap out of me and making it impossible to sleep without feeling phantom bugs crawling on me for several days. Sleep tight.
So scorpions making their way across the ceiling is roughly the same as Thaddeus making his way out of a vertibird. They're just like, I'm not sure about how to...
stuck.
I'm defying gravity. Yeah, they don't seem like they'd be that great at it.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's like take a spider, which some of those fuckers, you say huntsman spider, I'm like, how the hell is that sticking on a wall? But you take that fucker, you give him 2 claws, they're almost as big as his body, and then give him a fucking giant stinger weapon tail that's, again, as big as his body. A bunch of arm, and they can still stick on us. I'm sure, like, the emperor scorpions can't, right? They're just too fucking big.
I don't know. God, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah.
Giant scorpion dropping on me while I'm sleeping.
Yeah. I'm fortunate that I live in the Midwest where I don't really have to worry about anything but brown recluse spiders.
And not in Canada, where their major export is scorpions from ceilings.
Mm-hmm. Is that guy Canadian?
No.
Canadian mountain scorpion. You got to watch out for them.
I was just trying to further canonize the demonization of Canadians.
Yeah, they're the 2070s version of fascist Germany. So, hate to be the bearer of bad maple news, but that's the way it is. I didn't write
all we
this. Take it up with Joy Nolan. Anyway, thank you for listening. Sorry about the Canadian slander and all the other crazy shit we've said on this podcast. If you'd like to take us to task or praise us or give us some pointers or tell us some things that you got some theories on, fallout@baldmove.com is how you do that. And in the likely event that you'd like to contribute to this borderline criminal enterprise, go to support.baldmove.com and give us some caps. Give us some bottle caps. Oh, by the way, I love finishing a podcast and starting a whole other conversation. It's my go-to. Mm-hmm. I asked about the economy of the bottle caps, and I noticed that it's not a Nuka-Cola factory, it's a sarsaparilla factory. Am I supposed to understand that he's prying these caps off to make like the way that you would wash the ink off a $20 bill and make it into a $100 bill?
He's going to Nuka-fy these caps?
Yeah, just got another room of kids got like nail polish, and they're turning the sarsaparilla into Nuka-Cola. Is this... It's literally not like a mining operation. It's a counterfeit operation. Is that...
Maybe
I don't care if there's some game context to let me know that. It's exactly the kind of spoiler I wouldn't mind, but...
Yeah. Is it only Nuka-Cola caps in the game, or is it any cap?
That's another great question. Fallout@baldmove.com if you know. Maybe... Did we even talk about this? Like Nuka-Cola is the big one, and then like...
Yeah, we talked about how
Diet Nuka-Cola.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Nuka-Cola is $1. Diet Nuka-Cola is 50 cents.
Yeah. Sarsaparilla is only
Nuka-Cola
worth a penny.
Zero is 25. Mm-hmm. Sarsaparilla is a dime.
I don't know.
Desert Dew would be a nickel. What's a penny?
Oh, Desert Dew.
Nuka Fago. Nuka. RC Nuka. RC Nuka is the penny.
RC
Done.
Nuka.
That's canon. That's canon. Follow it at baldmove.com if you want to correct our canon. And again, support.baldmove.com if you'd like to help us keep it going. That's all we got for this week. Can't wait for next week's episode. Be here or be square. Until then, I'm your host, Aaron.
And I'm Jim.
Later.